Yeah, they're absolutely missing out. I think it's no different than my generation is the one that came in with digital cameras. So I didn't have the darkroom experience. I didn't have the experience of dodging and burning in real time. So I didn't live with the print.
So most photographers, myself included, don't realize that we're skipping the one step that actually finishes our photos. When we skip this step, something subtle starts to happen. The photos, they look fine, but they don't feel finished. The satisfaction fades faster. And over time, that emptiness starts to eat away at the reason we even picked up a camera in the first place. The printing press didn't just spread information, it gave ideas permanence. So what does that quote have to do with photography? Before smartphones, as many of us know, the only way to see our photos was to print them. And for my younger viewers, yes, we had to wait. That wait was a cocktail of hype, curiosity, and a little bit of fear. Because with film, we were so excited to find out that we overexposed or underexposed the entire row. We'd sit there wallowing in our misery, convinced that we were terrible photographers, only to do it again next week with some more rolls. With digital, the pain is instant. That common thread, though, was the print. The print made the moment real. It gave the image weight. Printing and photography were inseparable, like bread and butter. Today, everything is instant. Screens everywhere, social media everywhere. And since we can share a photo immediately, printing feels optional nowadays. But that's the trap. Instant sharing gives us this false sense of closure. We hit post and get a few likes and our brain whispers, okay, on to the next one. That one's done. But it's not even close. The real reason our work feels incomplete is because we stopped taking that final step. The one step photographers keep skipping. Humor me. I came up with this equation. I know. Basically, I said that photography, right, equals captured moments plus creative expression multiplied by the print. See, printing used to be the final step, and I know some of you still are printing. Kudos to you. But the printing sealed it. Growing up, my parents kept this old cigar box filled with printed photos. That box now lives with me. It's a time capsule of my childhood, a physical archive of my life. When my youngest daughter turned 5, my wife had printed all the photos that we had of her to that point. My little one held them like treasure. She didn't swipe, she didn't scroll, she held them. 2020 hit, pandemic, no streets, no city energy. And I was home with a mountain of hard drives and photos scattered all over them with some social media posts here and there. And as I scrolled through them, something felt off. They felt like photos, but they felt faint, like memories from someone else's life. And then I thought about these prints, these moments. They had weight, and that contrast bothered me. I wasn't finishing my photos. I had grown accustomed to screens, and I had forgot that step that made images real. So I set out to change that. I combed through all of my shots, picked out my favorites, and sent them off. Then I took it a step further, and I had a small book made, just one copy for me personally. And when it arrived, I was like, seeing my work bound in a book gave my photos a time and place, an identity, a home. Experiencing a photo on your phone or on a 4K monitor is nice, but seeing it on paper is a whole different experience. A perfect example of this is this photo here that I took in Rittenhouse Square. I was lining up another shot when this guy walked into my frame blowing a cigar smoke. The smoke looked awesome. His girlfriend was snapping photos. It must have been his birthday. On screen, in the back of the camera, the print looked great. But when I printed it, it really revealed what was going on. Overexposed highlights, a lack of micro contrast. The print exposed the truth, pun intended. But if I had added the habit of printing to my digital workflow, I would have never let that happen. And I'm an experienced photographer. Case in point, not printing makes us lazy. Printing process should have never been pushed to the side. And I know that's not the case for all of us. We spend hours editing photos that never leave our hard drives, perfecting images that never become real. And yes, printing could be its own rabbit hole. The printer, the paper, the color profile.
It's very important to print. I do think it's important. However, I'm really bad at printing, which is why I bought the little Canon selfie, which has helped me kind of make my images a little bit more tangible in the meantime. Hopefully one day I hope to see them on a bigger format of some sort, whether in a book or larger prints. But honestly, it's just another thing to get into, like a lot of us, we get into these things where it's like, we gotta have the printer, we gotta have the right paper. It's just another rabbit hole of things that we have to get to.
This 6x6 is a great icebreaker on photo walks. Showing someone a photo on a phone feels casual, forgettable. Handing them a printed book changes the energy. People slow down, they linger, they ask questions. Print doesn't just show your work, it elevates it. Recently, I got a chance to attend a gathering in New York.
Today we're doing beers and cameras, we're hosting.
We got a lot of people, this is really cool. We have 330 people signed up, and I don't know how many people are here, but probably close to that. We have a few things we want to say. Thank you to Leica for letting us have this event here, because this is a freaking amazing space. Yes.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. Photographers in a room, drink in hand, like-minded people who love making images.
It wasn't really until I started printing my stuff in a darkroom that I realized that I was missing out on a lot, like seeing actual, like silver halides turn into like a picture on paper, right? So
it's very hard for people as adults to make friends, and it's kind of like speaking a language that not a lot of people speak. So if you bring a lot of people together, they're able to like really connect with each other about that stuff, leave with lifelong friends. It's a really easy event to put on, and it just is a place for people to come together and kind of build community. Also, we did print swap, and I think it's really cool to allow people to actually show off their work instead of just showing off their cameras.
And I'll show you which one is my favorite. That one. It's great. It's great.
I am old enough to remember when digital photography was not a thing. So technically, I always was printing because that was what we did. And once digital came out, a lot of things did live on the computer or did live online. And it wasn't until probably, I would say maybe 10 years ago, where I started to print things out, not to sell or not to do anything with, just to have, so I could look at it and really like study like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and how to get better as a photographer.
This particular night had a theme, a print exchange. Everyone there had prints, we were swapping them. It was great. No screens, no likes, just photographers in their work. Each person in that room understood the assignment.
I didn't really understand what I was shooting when it just lived behind a screen. It was great, it looked great, awesome. The absolute minute that I saw my portrait on paper, it was like defining. It made me feel like I had more purpose. I'm like, oh, now I can feel like I'm capturing someone's essence. This thing feels tangible. It's a completely different thing. It all depends too. I went to a high-end printer. So he was like, this is what he does. He does it for big galleries, museums. So I could give him the raw file. He can really balance everything out. So when I got that image, it almost I mean, I joked with him because I said, I can't believe I took this. That was the, like, I couldn't believe that I took this photo, that I could see the skin, the texture, the shadows. It's just a different expression of what it is that you do. And it's very easy to get lost in the quick snap, see the photo on my phone, on my computer, and it's cool, and you'll dismiss really getting in the texture, like getting the full-on ability to contextualize what it is you captured. There's just something that's missed, and I don't know any other way to put it, but printing it absolutely gives you all of the layers of what it is that you've done, and it helps you really appreciate it.
It was refreshing to hold and pass prints around instead of sharing screens. It felt different, better even. More connection to the print and the person that captured the moment. Not because printing is some lost art that needs saving, or maybe it is, but there's something about holding a photo, something a screen can't replicate. Someday my daughters are going to go through memories and moments of from their childhood, and I realize that I'd rather they go through prints than screens. Not just for nostalgia's sake, but because someone loved them enough to make those moments real. And that's what a print is. The last act for a moment you decided mattered. And if you ever had a loved one struggle with memory loss, in my case, my grandfather, you'd understand better than most. Moments are fragile. Screens are temporary in ways we don't think about until it's too late. So do yourself a favor. Take your favorite photos all the way through the process. Don't just keep them digital. Print them. This was me in high school. It was my second year of photography, and my grandfather was dealing with Parkinson's, among other things. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I managed to capture this photo. Remember the smell of the chemicals?